this short video, I'll just be doing my C6 Kaeya review, and I'm excited in a way because it's done for me. I actually had him done already at the beginning of December, because I finally got his 6 constellation just from the Paimon shop, so that's how it worked. I didn't really get too many constellations of him from the standard banner before, so I had to actually wait every 6 months to get one copy of him, basically. So yeah, all good. So I mean, I might as well do it, right? So here we are. So I left him at 80 out of 90, but I did give him up to the final ascension at least. And yeah, he's a great sub DPS for early free-to-play players. Of course, definitely for free-to-play, he'll be someone that you'll be using throughout. But if you're, like early game, for sure you get it for free anyway, right? So why not? So for me, I did not build him with high crit or high crit damage, but I did build him with high energy. I just left him with lots of like leftover pieces of other characters, so because I don't use him, but I wanted to do this review because it could be helpful for newer players, like I said. So Festering Desire, you may not have this if you're new to the game now, because this came out in 1.2. It's an event weapon, but it's energy and no one's currently using it. So again, I'm building it for energy as a support or sub DPS in this case, support DPS, sub DPS, and it gives elemental skill damage plus 32% and elemental skill crit rate of 12%. Now, if you don't have this, which many of you won't, then the Amanoma is a great alternative. It looks cool on him too, by the way. And this one, you don't need to build him for crit either, but I just really wanted him to have energy in my case. So then the Favonius would work, but because I don't have his crit rate high, then the passive won't proc, and therefore it would be wasted. So that's why I went with this instead. Yeah. Of course, a Skyward Sword or Skyward Blade would work really well here too. As a great option. It looks cool on him too, right? But again, he's not a character, at least that most players would still be using after a while. So I don't think I wouldn't recommend giving him like a 5-star option unless you have lots of these lying around that no one else is using, right? But these are very useful universal blades or swords that other characters could use. So yeah. And then Sacrificial is okay for him too if you have an extra one lying around, but it's better for Xingqiu, of course. But yeah, I do have an extra one, but it's just not leveled up, so I didn't bother with that. So yeah, and then artifact-wise, just give him whatever works, but I gave him a 4-piece Blizzard Strayer, just because, he's mostly a cryo damage dealer, and so I just went with that. As you can see, this is an elemental mastery piece, only because I didn't have another option, and I didn't go back and farm the Blizzard Strayer. I'm just giving him leftover pieces that no one else is using, and I wanted to make the 4-piece work. So, of course, it will vary for you, but yeah, you can do a 2-piece set with 2-piece Gladiator or Shimenawa or Attack Focus. If you want some Elemental Mastery, that could work as well. Yeah, so it's kind of cool, right? In this case, sorry, I exited that screen. So, and then finally I have my C6, so let's just quickly go over this. So C1 is pretty straightforward. These older characters are really straightforward with their constellations. It's literally just the crit rate will be increased as long as they're affected by cryo. Then this one, the opponent, for each opponent that's defeated, then the duration will be increased. And then this is +3 levels. And then this one is basically when his HP falls below 20%, then he'll have a minor little shield that will absorb some damage. And yeah, that's kind of cool, right? This is +3 levels for his burst. This first one was for his skill. And then the last C6 will generate an additional icicle, so instead of 3, he'll get 4 instead, which is not bad. And then he'll regenerate some more energy this way as well. So that's not bad. And then lastly, for the talents, this is from way before. I haven't leveled him up since, but I left it at 7 because you will use him for his skills. And then this one, you can unleash additional, or actually his skill is pretty useful. This is where you unleash his skill and then you just have like, some cryo spray in front of you basically. It's pretty straightforward, these older characters. And then his burst is really where the majority of his damage is going to come from. It's very similar to Shang Ling's like Pyronado, where it just circles them and everything. So it's actually pretty good in that sense. And then every hit of the Frost Gnaw, the skill, will regenerate HP for him, which is nice. And then this one, when they're frozen, will have additional particles. So it's more about energy, really. And lastly, he'll have decreased sprinting speed, which is nice. So regardless, this character is pretty good overall. He's not as useful, in my opinion, as Shangling, but he can be built similar to Shangling. So my Shangling is built with just a high energy, build basically as well, but I did give her some crit rate and crit damage because I do use her in the Abyss. Whereas Kaeya, I don't use him, so I didn't bother with the crit aspect because I'd rather save those artifact pieces for other characters instead. Yeah, so for this team, I'm using a Hydro-based team, but realistically, you could definitely use it with a burst team as well, so maybe I'll switch that out. Maybe I will use, instead of Xingqiu, maybe I will use a... Actually, no, let's just go with this. Let's just go with this. Yeah. So I'm going to now just break the shield using the water characters and hopefully generate that for him to do his thing. So, you know, it's not horrible, right? Like, he's still pretty useful. Like, I mean, you can get the job done, right? And then you have this, like, really, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, this boss can't freeze, right? But then, like, you can definitely apply cryo and everything. It's actually pretty nice, and it's overall pretty decent, okay? He's still one of the better characters that you get for free in the beginning, and overall, there should be nothing wrong with him overall if you were to build him and use him, even until now. It's just that there's been better characters since, right? But it's very straightforward to build, very easy, it's free to play, friendly, and yeah, he's still cool looking, and he has that mischievous personality still. So anyway, that's my quick review of C6 Kaeya. I'm just glad that I finally got that done. I previously did my C6 Lisa. I'm still waiting on one more constellation for my Amber. That's pretty much it, really. I mean, we might as well, if we spent the time and the dedication to wait this long, I might as well do a review, right? Anyway, I just want to share that with everyone. But anyway,